So we're going to start making our 3D bulging hearts. You can also do this with a circle if you would rather use a circle. I'm going to start out by putting a straight line down the center of my paper. I line the top of the ruler up to make sure that my line is going straight down my paper. Another thing that you could do is measure over from the side. Let's see, I'll go 4 inches over from this side and make a little line, and then same thing on the bottom. 4 inches over, make a little line. And when I connect those lines, I should get a nice straight line down the center of my paper. And I'm gonna use that as the center of my heart. So I'll draw a nice symmetrical heart, making the sides as even as I can. I'll make it a little bit easier for me as I go. And then I'm gonna add the grid that goes behind my heart. So I'll line the edge of my ruler up with the side to create a straight line that goes right up and down, a perfectly vertical line. And I'm gonna start the line and draw down till I get to the heart, and then I'll stop and pick it up after the heart. So I'm drawing a straight line that does not go through the heart. I'll move my ruler over again and line it up with the line that I just drew in order to stay straight and keep my lines parallel. And I'll go ahead and draw that line in. And then I've got that next box, which is already pretty close to the right size, so I'll leave it. Skip over to the other side, line up with the line, top to the heart, skip over, and finish the bottom part off. And I'm just gonna keep going like that all the way across the paper. So I line up the edge and draw till I get to the heart, and then stop, skip over the heart, and go all the way to the bottom. So I should have vertical lines that go all on my paper, but not through the heart. Then I'm gonna do the same thing horizontally. So I'll go to the top and line up my ruler, and I'll draw from side to side, but every time I get to a part of the heart, I'm gonna skip over it. Line up my ruler again. Same thing. These are gonna be little bitty lines, but the lines are still very important, even if they're just really teeny lines on the sides, because they're gonna help me get set up for the next step. So same thing, slide it down, line it up with the previous line, draw it in, line it up, draw it in. Okay, so now I have a grid. It's like my heart is sitting on my grid, but I want my heart to look like it's popping out of the grid. So these next lines are really important. Going from side to side across the heart, I'm gonna connect the two lines, but I'm gonna use a line that arches up kind of like a rainbow shape. That's what's gonna make it look like the heart is like bulging out. I'm gonna try and make it as symmetrical as possible. Just kind of fix it a little bit if I need to. Okay. Up here, I think I'm gonna need to use, I'm gonna kind of run into this point. So I think I'll use that as a stopping spot on each side. Kind of like that. I'm trying to make them a little bit even, so you might need to adjust one or the other. And then this one is gonna have to go to that point as well. Okay, and this is the line that I was just fixing. All right, and then next, from side to side, I have a couple lines I need to connect as well, or I should say from top to bottom really, but I'm gonna think about it in terms of sides because the lines that are on the left are going to bulge out toward the left. So this one's gonna bulge out this way. This one's gonna bulge out this way. You already have the middle line. The lines that are on the right are gonna bulge out towards the right. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is color in my grid. So I'm gonna choose 2 colors that stand out from each other, and I'm gonna use nice coloring craftsmanship. That means that I'm filling in the whole box. There's no white showing. I'm coloring the same direction so that it looks nice and neat. I'm staying inside the lines. Right now I'm just coloring the grid that is behind the heart, the grid that's not the heart. So I'm not coloring anything inside the heart yet. So I traced my lines with Sharpie just so that you could see them a little bit more clearly and it would stand out a little bit more. A couple things about choosing your colors. You want to think about two colors that have some contrast or that kind of go together. So I chose different shades of pink because I thought that they would look nice together. You could also choose two colors that are very different from each other, like for example, blue and orange. They would have a lot of contrast. They would really stand out and be very dynamic. And when you're coloring the grid, you're basically making sure that each color is touching itself on diagonal. So it's never next to the same color, it's never above or below the same color. This is a good spot to look down here.